There I go. Good evening, folks. I'm Freddy Vazquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. Tonight, the future of the Yonkers Public Schools. What will our district look like in the next 10 years? No, the plan seems to be good, right? But they have a lot of work to do, and it's going to be very expensive. Very, very expensive. I want to also talk about comments on Facebook. And I mentioned this before. You know, if you support a candidate that I may have mentioned in a way that you don't like, then by all means, please don't just say my opinion or what I post is wrong. Tell me why. Right? So someone today said, why do you dislike Tasha Diaz? Why do you go after her? I don't target her specifically just to target her. I speak on politics here in the city of Yonkers, what's going on, making you aware of things that maybe you may not know because it's kept hush-hush a lot of times. And I think it's important for people to know these things. And if the majority leader wasn't involved in so much, then I wouldn't have much to talk about, right? She's not the only one I speak of. I speak of pretty much all the elected officials here, at least in the city of Yonkers, I think, right? Except maybe the mayor. I know some people say, Freddy, you don't talk about the mayor. And they want me to bash the mayor. I talk about people that are really impactful, right? And who are supposed to represent us, I feel, and be our voices, right? In those meetings when they want to, you know, pass certain legislations or the mayor doesn't want something. They're supposed to be the ones that fight for us, not fight their stepdads, not fight each other, not go crazy in the council chambers like we've seen the majority leader. So, I mean, what kind of question is that? Really? But I hear the individual is a Tasha Diaz staffer, possibly, and I could be wrong. And I don't mind being wrong. She's a district leader. But you cannot tell me any specific thing that the majority leader has contributed to the betterment of this city. Guess what she mentioned? The food program. The highlight of her career. Unfortunately, that's not her own creation. She doesn't pay for it. She didn't pass legislation to begin doing food distributions here in the city of Yonkers. She didn't come up with the idea of a food pantry. Okay, so let's just keep it honest. Her main priority, she's failed us. The housing ordinance, I'm going to always go to that because that was a major flip-flop. That was. And she let who down? I mean, remember all the folks who came after to voice their opinions? The Christopher Johnson, Keisha Skippers, right? Yonkers NAACP. They were upset. A lot of black folks came out. So what do you mean? Again, what do you mean? And if you watch the podcast, because you seem to only just look at my posts apparently, but don't watch the podcast, I would have answered all your questions. I would have given you very specific details. But you work for her, possibly. So if you do, you already know. You already know what's the deal. You know how it go down. You can't do that. You're going to make yourself look a certain way because that person's not going to be here forever. Okay? But your reputation is. So don't sell that out. Defending someone that may not. defend you when the time comes. Remember that. Freddy told you here on Basement Politics. Anyway, folks, I want to talk about the schools. What the future of the Yonkers Public Schools will look like. I was reviewing a plan that was put together by the Yonkers Joint Schools Construction Board. It's a Yonkers Joint Schools Construction and Modernization Plan, and it's lays out the plan for 3 new schools here in the city of Yonkers because there's a huge need. They're saying there's about 4,500 students too many, and more coming into the city. Obviously, they're building more buildings, so we're expecting more people, right? So that number should grow significantly. So there is the need for the new schools. Currently, they're building the first one, which actually got approved, and they got funding for over on McLean Avenue. It was the old St. Denis school. They tore it down, and they are building a new one now. The first new school to be built in the city of Yonkers in the last 20 years. So it's about time. It's about time. However, the population in Yonkers hasn't really increased significantly until very recently. But they did need new schools because they're old. On average, our Yonkers public school buildings are 80 years old. They range from 20 years old, the last one that was built, to 136 years old. Make sure your child is not in that building. They're just kidding. Just kidding. Anyway, facilities, according to the report, are far from up to date from a physical condition perspective, right? As a educational environment to facilitate learning in the 21st century. So they're not adequate enough to facilitate learning in the 21st century, according to this report. So what have they been learning? How is it that the numbers are increasing and the rate of graduation is improving if they're not adequate enough to teach our kids in the 21st century, right? The plan calls for up to 3 new schools, but for now, the goal is 1 because that's all they can afford. And this is what I'm saying. Where's the money? Show me the money. They should be able to build 3 new schools. Although the prices, the cost, and I'll go over those in a little bit, are crazy. I don't know. Maybe they're accurate, but they're crazy, right? But all this money that we will have supposed to be getting from the city, Empire City Casino, specifically for schools, about $19 million a year. What happened to that? The plan's primary goal is the building of the first new school at the site of the old St. Denis on McLean, just before you hit Rumsey Road. It's already underway. You can go over there and see them working. The plan also calls and provides a path to obtaining funding to build 2 additional schools if the city is able to pay for their local share. Where's the money? They need to either renovate, if possible, the existing buildings and also need new ones as more people move into Yonkers. So where's the money? We need it. I was told on my last podcast that Yonkers had deferred $2 billion for the school district. But what does that mean? And I'll tell you why I asked that question in a minute. What does that mean? Additionally, the plan calls for improvement of the highest priority schools here in the city of Yonkers. And I was surprised at number 1. I truly was. You have to question everything here, right? And be real cynical and suspect, right? You have to be. You have to be skeptical. Total cost projected for the new schools not to exceed $523 million, which $523 million. Supposedly, they say public input was solicited during the preparation of this plan, but does anyone remember that? Or maybe they would. But it's like those variant signs, they say we're having a public hearing on this date, but I swear that sign was not there until after that date. And maybe it's just me. I'm just bugging maybe. But it feels like I always see the sign after the date, right? Like in that new McDonald's they're building on Nepaham, right? So apparently, 1 or more meetings was held with the public. 1 or more. Which one is it? 1 or was it more? Well, the plan calls for new schools between 90,000 to 160,000 square feet. Schools that will be pre-K to eighth grade in size to well, that's the grades pre-K to eighth, but they will be 90,000, 160,000 square feet to accommodate up to 2,000 students in total, not in one building, in total, all three schools. Each school will have the capacity to hold between 588 to 760 students. Why not build one that's just 2,000, like, that can hold 2,000? I went to a high school like that, and the graduating class, the seniors alone, was over 800,000, and that would need less space. I mean, because is there enough real estate, right? Is there enough land to build the other two schools? And they may have to just buy some buildings up and knock them down because the developers took up all the good schools. Imagine a dope new school right there along the Hudson. I mean, you have the Riverside, used to be the museum school, but another one right there would have been dope. However, anyway, they have plans for two. However, only one has been approved because of the money. The city's budget constraints won't allow for the other two to be built. So this is what I'm saying. Where's the money? Show me the money. What's the $2 billion that was deferred, according to Ron Matten in his comment on a podcast two ago? Right. So anyway, really quick, what is the Joint Schools Construction Board? By the way, Ron Matten is on that board, right? It was created in 2016 when New York State approved or adopted Chapter 355 of the laws of 2016, known as the Yonkers City Schools District's Joint Schools Construction and Modernization Act. The act authorized the city of Yonkers and Yonkers Public Schools to create the Joint Schools Construction Board, which was granted certain powers. The responsibilities are management oversight of the School Construction Board and the Modernization Act, prepare and implement plans for renovations of city's educational facilities, as well as development of up to 3 new schools. The plan presents its basis for enhanced funding provided by legislation outlined specifically for specific projects in phase 1 and provide details for programming and funding of these projects. Right? They provide an idea, but again, it's only one that's been approved. The purpose of this legislation is to provide Yonkers with increased flexibility in financing educational facility improvements. What does that mean? Again, I thought they were getting money for this from Empire City. You got Lionsgate, you got all these developments that came in that promised so much money to the city. Where's the money? I mean, when was the last school built? 20 years ago. So where did that money go? And all these schools that I'm about to show you that need these improvements and how much they cost, where's the money? Because that's a lot. It's a lot, right? There is a shortage of space. Again, like I said, there's a shortage of space. The schools on average are between 20 and 136. Between 20 and 136 years of age, on average 80 years old. The new school will be a 4-story academic building. I want to show you here. That's it there, outlined in white. New school will be a 4-story academic building with another 1-story community building with a gym and multi-purpose rooms as well as bathroom. They'll have an outdoor playground. The community building will be for public use when school's not in session. It'll have a basketball court that the community can come and play in. Right. And then they'll have a community clinic, right? And that consists of all the medical needs of the school as well. And I guess the medical facilities for the area there, the community clinic. The report goes on to say that it also includes 2 additional new schools. However, the city does not believe it has the funding for its share at this time, right? If they had it, they would locate one of them on Point Street and Grand Street, and some of it would be on the old Mulford Garden housing site, right, where they had the projects over the housing. So it would be in that area, but I guess that's by Grant Park if they were able to do the second one. That's where the number 2 would go. So financing for phase 1s, they'll utilize 5 series of bonds. So they're bonding, putting the city into debt from 2021. So I guess they already started through 2025. The total cost to the city for their local share would be anywhere between $24,318,894 to $28,141,000 $165,936, right? That's between 35 and 41% of the cost, depending on the state aid. So again, the total cost of just the school of well, total be $534 million, but just St. Denis here, the one that's been approved, it's going to cost a total of 68, just call it $69 million. All right, $68,650,000. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. It's going to be 90,000 square feet. It's on a 1.25 acres. Will be pre-K to 8th grade, and it will have a capacity of 541 students with 26 classrooms. That's it there. Beautiful. It's a beautiful school. It's about time. They need new schools here, right? Because we have these old buildings, have lead and all that other stuff in them. Who knows what that's done to some of our kids? Maybe that's why they say I'm crazy. Maybe I'm a little crazy because the lead that was in the schools when I went to school 16, which is on the list here of schools that need improvements. And I will tell you how much there. So again, I'm going to go down. And I was saying that I was very surprised at the school number one that needed improvements. Okay, and it was not school 3. It was DeCharo. Oh, that's school 3. Yeah, DeCharo. DeCharo was number 1, school 8, and it needs $9 million of renovation. $9,113,340 in renovations. Actually, I'm sorry. No, $30 million. I'm lying. Total project cost. I was reading the wrong thing. $30 million. This is what I was surprised. DeCharo? Isn't that the school that everybody wants to get their kids into? That one or Pulaski? So, I mean, I'm surprised that one is number 1 on the list there. And it needs over $30 million in renovations. It was built in 1894. Wow. And it has 250 students, excuse me. $30 million in renovations. Wow. Maria de Hostos is on their list also, about $1.8 million in renovations. 72,000 square feet building, 546 students there. School 10, number 3, 500,000. So it's in the hood. Give it only 500. We got to get the money to the Charo, you know? So all the top of the line folks go. My kids don't go there, by the way. School 13, $62 million. And I'm just playing about that. We're all top of the line, folks. I'm joking because everybody's like, what school you go to? I go to Charo. Oh, my kids go to Pulaski. Right, that's how it is. That's what I would hear. $62 million for school 13 in renovations. School 14 needs $89 million in renovations. School 16, where my alma mater, $104 million in renovations. That's crazy. That's crazy. It's a lot of money. School 17, $22 million. Scholastic Academy, $25 million. And these are $91 million for School 21. These are things that need to be done. I mean, they have to. School 22, $62 million. So again, total of $534 million that they're looking to spend to either build 3 additional new schools. They already started building 1, or and I should say to renovate all of these schools here that I just listed. But again, the city is short on funding. So they only got 1 going up. And are they going to do the renovations at least on the other ones if they need them this bad? I mean, the necessary infrastructure upgrades are anticipated to include replacement of windows. This is for School 22, HVAC, plumbing and electrical system, lighting, interior finishes, and toilet room renovations. I mean, that's crazy. This and some of the stuff could be health, maybe any health issues that could be caused by some of this stuff, man. Right? School 21 currently houses 2 section pre-K schools, pre-K to 6. And additions and alterations are necessary to achieve the proposed 3-section program. Necessary infrastructure upgrades includes all major building systems, ventilation, so it can't breathe up in there. I mean, it's COVID season, is it not? Lighting, ADA accessibility, and envelope restoration. What does that mean? Exactly. Mold, or is there mold and lead and asbestos that needs to be mitigated? Let me see what DeCharo needs for other people whose kids go to DeCharo. What's going on in DeCharo? DeCharo needs an HVAC system, windows, ventilation. Your kids can't breathe up in DeCharo. Lighting and ADA accessibility. So these buildings in the School of Yonkers need to be renovated. Seriously, they do. They're very old. I mean, 136 years old. Some of the buildings are that old. That's crazy. But I'm glad that at least they're making some progress building one new school. But I just don't understand. And again, maybe Ron Matson can help me understand that. Why is it that they don't have the funding for the other two schools? Where's the money? Where's the money going? Right? There's all this money that was supposed to come from the casinos. We have MGM now in here that bought the Empire City Casino. They're looking to set up shop, do full gaming. Ready, guys? Ready to gamble your money away? Let's do it. Except for those who are in the pilot program in Mount Vernon to get the universal basic income. You are not allowed to gamble, right? That should be like a stipulation. In Mount Vernon, they recently started a pilot program there where they will be giving individuals a universal basic guaranteed income for absolutely nothing. Who's paying for that? Did you guys hear about that? That program has been implemented in other cities as already before, and I just don't understand who's paying for it. The taxpayers, obviously, I would imagine. And what will that do to folks if they're just guaranteed to get an income without having to do anything? Will that not incentivize them? Right? They're not going to be incentivized, I would imagine, to go to work and to. So I just want to put that out there. You guys can't go to the casino, to MGM when they do full, because you can't gamble that money away. That should be like a stipulation. I just want to put that. Anyway, folks, I just want to go over this little report, show you what is the future outlook for the Yonkers Public School potentially. Again, the St. Denis location, the new school that's going up there. It's called the Sotomayor School. I don't know if I got her name right. They're naming it after the Chief Justice, and so it'll be on McLean there just before you reach Rumsey Road. That's great. It looks very nice. It's going to be awesome for them to have a new school for kids to be going there. I'm sure a lot of parents are going to be, putting that as number one, for the kids there and stuff like that. I don't know if you get to pick. I don't know how that works with community schools or whatever. But anyway, it's going to be a beautiful school. It's going to have a lot for that community as well in terms of the community building with the gym and the multi-purpose room, the community clinic and all that. So a lot of things that they're doing here now in Yonkers, they want it to be community oriented so that, so if you building a development, even if it's like a senior housing development, they, especially if you're doing, if you're getting funding from state, right? They want it to be community accessible. So, you have to put stuff in there like computer rooms or, a wellness center, and stuff for the community to also be able to use. People that don't live there, they'll still be able to come in and access that stuff. It's kind of, I don't know if that's new or whatever, but they seem to, be wanting to have that done a lot more. So the schools that are going to be going up now are going to have these community buildings and community access at times when the schools are not in session, which I think is great. I remember when I was growing up on Warburton, they would open up School 25 over there. We'd go play basketball at night. He's called a night ball, so it was fun. Everybody would come. And you know what? There was never any problems. I can't even remember one time there was a fight, So, I think people, as you start to give people stuff, say, hey, listen, we're going to do this. You just got to make sure you do the right thing. I think people will do that. I think people really will do that. I mean, you always have it, and that's everywhere. But that's dope idea. So I like that, and hopefully the community be taking good advantage of that. Well, anyway, folks, that's what's going on in Yonkers with the public schools. I'm Freddy Vazquez. Again, if you are going to, come at me, right, because of what I say about certain elected officials, because I'm trying to help the community, right? Essentially, that's my goal, right? To that person. So why are you mad at me? And you can ask me all these questions. Just watch the podcast. I would answer it. But you should at least be able to answer my questions, right? If I'm going to ask you, well, at least let me know what that individual did that benefited, that was great for the city of Yonkers, specifically that person's constituents, right? Their constituency. Because what I've seen, and I'm not sure why you haven't seen it, everyone has, It's videos of that person yelling at their constituents, in the building, yelling at other city officials in live meetings, saying, accusing individuals like Sam Borelli, building department of, having problems with women or something like that. Whether it's true or not, it's just not the place and time for it, right? You're not a podcast host like me. You can't do that. It's not the podcast. That's your city council meeting, right? And they do things like that. There's allegations of assault on individuals in her own building as of very recent. Individuals who are saying that they saw her involved in a car chase. A business owner that said she went up in his business very aggressively, threatening to shut him down simply because his daughter, who was an employee of his, had an issue with him, utilizing her power to harass that business owner. I mean, it's not me that's saying this. I'm just reporting what people are saying. I'm speaking to the people, and it's people that are in City Hall, right? They can act like your friend. That's the nature of politics. Pretend to be your friend, but they're backstabbing you. You got to wear bulletproof vests or whatever, both, especially on your back. Because everyone's looking to throw each other under the bus. So you got, and I kept it real with her. So you should be telling her, why he kept it real with you. You should appreciate that. Okay, you should. So staffer, if you're going to defend your boss, if she is your boss, you should be able to tell me why. That's all I'm saying. And anybody, whether whoever it is, because I've spoken about a lot of people. So, just saying. Just saying. Glad you're okay, Freddy. Yeah, what happened? You thought I wasn't going to be okay? The Spanos laugh at Tasha behind their back. 1,000%. I mean, not just the Spanos. It's not just the Spanos. I mean, I've never seen it. I would imagine. Because it's a lot of people. This is what I'm saying to you, Tasha. I kept it real with you. And you mad at me. Why are you not mad at them? Why are you not mad at the people where you be? Well, you are. You have been mad at them. I ain't gonna lie. I've seen you threaten them. But stay mad at them. Don't mad at me. I'm just reporting what I hear. That's all. And I told you from day one, this was gonna happen. You should be thanking me. That's all I'm saying. And her daughter got a city job. Oh, after she stopped working at the vape shop, she got a city job? Did the city open up a vape shop? Now, if she did that to her boss at the city job, would you go up there and threaten to shut down the boss's building? Would that be like City Hall? You could threaten to shut down City Hall if her boss now has an issue with her, Tasha? You see what I'm saying? You can't do these things, man. You can't do these things. So, to the person that I'm speaking to, come on. You know what I'm saying? You should just not even say nothing to me. You should just not even comment because, you can't defend that, yo. You cannot defend that. Seriously. You cannot defend that. Cannot. And it's not like, I'm saying Shanae Williams, or Corazon do so much more. It's not what I'm saying. Because I'll be honest with you, at least I see Tasha out there more than Shanae and Corazon. That's why I liked Tasha from the beginning. I did. I went out to her food things when I thought they were hers, and I was shouting her out. I did. Because I saw her, and I appreciated that. And then, now I know more. I know better. Not as ignorant, right? So I'm just saying, at least she's out there, Corazon and Shane. But the thing with Tasha is that she is loud. She is front street. You know what I mean? Like she's out there in your face. And so therefore she gives a lot of content, right? And people love to watch a train wreck. They do. Literally. Where does that term come from? Two businessmen, organized a train wreck. They took two old trains and sold tickets to people to watch the trains crash. They crashed the two trains into each other, and people paid to watch that. That's a real story, right? That's where that comes from. So people love it. They love to see two trains hit each other. And Tasha Diaz are two trains that are constantly crashing into each other. You know what I mean? So she gives the content. So that's why I talk about it, So it's not that I dislike her. I don't. Actually, I feel bad because she really don't have any friends there. She don't. And she doesn't know any better. And I'm trying to tell her that, And like I said, at least I see her out there because Shanae ain't out there. All the gun violence this weekend, what does Shanae do? She puts out a press release saying, I'm calling for an end to the gun violence. Okay, Shanae. All right. They're going to answer your call. The gun violence is going to end now. Right? I mean, what great effort. Did you do that or was it a staffer? I mean, at least did you type it up and go online and post it yourself? You could have done that. Right? But simply putting out a statement with your picture on it, calling for an end to gun violence is not going to do a damn thing, Shanae. Come on. I'm serious. Like, let's come on and let's have a discussion on my show about this. I would love to do that. All of you, any one of you. But that would never happen because you don't have the ability to hang with me. And I'm not trying to be arrogant when I say that. I truly mean that, because I would, expose you. You would be exposed. And that's why you don't do that. Right? So I'm just saying, because you don't do much. And it's just true. Right? So you put out a statement. Now the gun violence is going to end now. That's great. Like that's all you did. You didn't even go out there. You didn't go to the community and say, hey, community, we have to stop this. And I'm going to work hard to diligently get this to be over. What's going on? Why are people shooting at each other? It's not like Yonkers, is that big. While we are big, we're small. So it's like everybody knows pretty much everything. So figure it out, get these two groups together, and let's have some peace and stay in contact with them. Follow up. You understand? It's that simple. You have to be in the community if you want to make a change. You can't make a change from, your job in Manhattan, right? Your real estate firm over there. You can't do that. That's why I don't understand why, they allow that. A part-time job, that's not a part-time job. That's a full-time job, right? That's a full-time job. And even if they got paid the 50, 60,000 they get paid, because on average, that's what the salary is for most people a year, is about 60,000 or so. Maybe it's been going up now, but with inflation, it might as well be 60,000 or less, right? So, you have to be involved. You have to go out there and know what's going on. Make the community, the people who are not gang members and not involved in crime that just happen to live there because, unfortunately, they don't have a lot of money, right? And that's the best that they could do at that time. So they have to deal with it. They have to put up with it. And they're shaking up. But you didn't go out there to say, hey, community, I'm here for you. None of you did. And that's a Black community. This is what I understand. Am I wrong here? Tell me, please correct me. Please. So I can have a better understanding. But am I wrong there? You preach the Black stuff, right? That's all I'm saying. But Black people are being affected. They are victims, right? They are the victims in these shootings. And you're not there for them. I'm just saying. And they're the victims in a lot of things. The victims of a system of redlining, discrimination. And not to say that people shouldn't take responsibility for themselves, because absolutely. I grew up in those neighborhoods. And I took responsibility for myself, and that's why I'm here. But these things don't help. They make it harder. And you don't care. Yeah, guys don't care. If you even understand what it's all about, right? If you even understand it. So that's all I'm saying. Like, keep it real. Tasha's fake as fuck. Everything she does is for the gram. Do it for the gram. The current city council is collectively, the most inept and embarrassingly stupid ever. Yeah, and I hate to say it that way because I don't want to sound mean. That's what I mean. Like, I wasn't trying to be arrogant. I'm just saying that the reality is that I think all of us can, we are smart then, right? All of it, all you guys as well. You know what I mean? Because, just either that or sometimes when you're, not really doing your job because, That's your job. Your job is not to do your job, if you know what I'm saying, what I mean. Like, that's why you were put there in the first place. Then you tend to look stupid, right? Because, well, how can you not be doing your job correctly? But maybe you're not stupid. You just know that I'm supposed to not do my job correctly, right? And so maybe acting stupid is the best way to go about it in case the FBI ever come down knocking on people's doors. Although you can't claim stupidity, I don't think that's a defense, right? So I'm just saying, maybe it's just an act and they just, they don't care. Because sometimes it happens, people don't care, whatever, they don't care. So, it's like, are you stupid? No, I just don't care. And that's could be a lot of it too, right? But I mean, obviously some of it too is about intelligence, right? So I don't know. But that's just, that's why I talk about the individuals that I do. It's not personal. I don't hate them. I don't hate, because as a matter of fact, and I was hanging out with John Rubo. I don't know what that Corazon thing. We hung out for a couple hours and we talked and we laughed, right? And how many times I've talked about John Rubo on this show? Because I don't hate people. I don't hate them. I just try to light a fire on their ass to say, hey, come on. You know what I mean? Let's do something. Let's do something for the community. Like, let's do something positive. Let's do something we could truly be proud of, right? That you actually did. Your idea, you came up with, you created it, you passed the legislation, you got it through, and it's doing such a great impact in the community. Let's see that happen, right? Let's see that. We want to see it, right? We want to see it. We want to see, it's not just handing out food and, now you giving out vouchers, the big lottery. And is it supposed to be online? Is that you're supposed to make a big deal of it? Is that what's part of the whole thing? Because I don't understand why that's being done so publicly like that. You get a housing voucher and you get a housing voucher and you get a housing voucher and you don't get one. Sorry. You're even not on the list. Womp, womp. Are you going to have that sound effect when they don't get one? Womp, womp. You know what I'm saying? So, I just think that that's not really, smart. And I was actually talking to a woman who works for HUD. She works for HUD today, actually. And she brought that up. I did, and she brought that up, and she said, that's crazy. Why would they do it that way? And I said, yeah, I said the same thing. It's funny. And she works for HUD Housing, So it's not just me, señorita. A lot of people feel how I feel. I just keep it real, and I say it on my podcast. That's all. I just amplify, the sentiment of the people of the city of Yonkers. And I'm Freddy Vazquez, and I'm up out of here. It's time for me to go. Thank you, folks, for joining me. So hopefully, can't wait till that new school is finished. Go check it out, see what it looks like and the inside and stuff. I'm sure it'll be amazing. It'll be great, So good thing for the people of Yonkers. I'm Freddy Vazquez. Thank you for joining me. Join me tomorrow, Friday, TGIF. Thank God the weekend's here. I'm up out of here. Take care. Don't forget to register to vote. If you're not registered, don't forget to vote when it's time. And by the way, I forget to mention this. I am paying for videos. So if you have any videos of any incidents, send them to Basement Politics. Get paid for your videos. Don't just give them away and let the other man get paid. You should make some money. So if you have a video of an interesting incident, something that you think is newsworthy, save it for Basement Politics. Reach out to us. Let us know what you have. If it's interesting to us, if we use it, we pay you. That's how it works. Why are you making other people money with your videos? Make the money for yourself. Reach out to Basement Politics at politicswithfred@gmail.com. politicswithfred@gmail.com. This is Basement Politics. I'm Freddy Vazquez. I'm up out of here.
5 minutes from the BX, whole team seeing checks, hood now and we next.
Peace out, Yonkers.
Home of Mary X. OBG taking somebody's spot. I'm from Yonkers. Come on, we can make it happen. Hop in your whip. We 15 minutes from there.
I'm Freddy Vazquez. This is Basement Politics. Thank you, folks. Enjoy your Friday.
That's cool and all that, nothing but me, man. Why yo, man? Hey, nigga, why yo, nigga? Extra 5 on the show, nigga. They hard to get. You know, it ain't hard. Yo, I'm from YO, niggas spit grams and flip dust, and niggas be blowing bogeys on back of the beeline bus. Really young, slow bounds, Mofa Cottage and School Street. The middle of the square was where
You're
all
watching
the
Basement Politics with my dad, Freddy Vazquez.
Niggas hustle all day, trying to stack a big green. Can't forget about Orchard, Van calling the Elm. Yonkers out, chestnut niggas be making the sales.
I was raised in housing.
Broadway, all day, South Yonkers is where you find all of the Oyes, Highland, Brook, Charlotte, and the niggas on Jackson. Buena Vista, Riverdale, all them niggas be stacking. Got Jones on Lawrence and the niggas on Post. And all them niggas on Elliott that be busting their toast. Harriet, McLean, and all of them niggas on Caroline. Royal Lab niggas on crates sipping them very fine. 5 minutes from the BX. Whole team seeing checks. Hood now and we next. I'm from Yonkers. Home of Mary X on blocks in 06. OBG taking somebody's spot. I'm from Yonkers. Come on, hat. We can make it happen. Hop in your whip. We 15 minutes from Manhattan. I'm from Yonkers. And all the other bros know we real. Now on 4, exit 5 for the soul mill.
You're watching Basement Politics with my dad, Freddy Vazquez.
Freddy wins. Fatality.
Thank you, folks. Have a blessed and happy Friday. I'm from Yonkers. I love you very much, folks. Thank you for watching. I love Yonkers so much. Help me make it better for all. Continue to watch and support. Share the show. Take care, folks.
Freddy wins.
Thank you for watching Basement Politics with my husband, Freddy Vazquez.
Freddy wins.